But drop it in the comments. It's me and God. It's me and God.
It's me and God.
It's me and God. You may have family, you may have support, you may have somebody on your team that believes in you, but there will still come seasons where it will feel as though, and quite literally for many of you, it's just you and God. It's just you and God. I am a one-man wrecking ball. The moment that you get this reality, the lights are going to turn on upstairs. Here it is. You ready for it?
Let's go.
One-man wrecking machine.
All right, let's go. Let's get some memories. If you grew up in the 80s.
Hold on.
You're still purchasing your lenses from your optometrist?
What are you doing? Come on.
Rubik's Cube?
Mere sound, mere feeling.
If you were a kid in 1980s America, some things bring back fond memories.
You really feel the music with the Sony Walkman?
The Sony Walkman is a tiny stereo cassette player with truly incredible sound.
From the bright colors and funky fashion to the catchy tunes on cassette tapes, the 80s had a unique vibe.
Attention shoppers, the new Atari cartridge game is in.
Excuse me.
Uh-oh.
So join us as we explore if you grew up in the 80s, you remember these things.
Tire costs less than $500. Put it this way, we're watching a great movie, and you're watching us.
MTV. 1981. Something big hit American TV screens. MTV, or music television. It changed how folks experience music. Before, you'd mostly hear songs on the radio, but MTV brought music to life with their wild dance moves. Suddenly, being a musician wasn't just about making tunes, but also eye-catching videos. MTV has become a place to see what's trendy in fashion and style. People would tune in to catch the latest music video or learn new dance moves.
My MTV.
MTV made stars out of musicians and VJs. It wasn't just about the music, but the whole vibe. Even today, MTV's impact on pop culture can still be felt. It was more than just a TV channel. It was a cultural phenomenon that defined a generation.
My MTV, you want your MTV.
I want my MTV.
I want my MTV.
As the 1980s dawned with MTV revolutionizing music consumption, amidst the mesmerizing videos and newfound music culture, did anyone find the perfect rhythm to solve the enigmatic Rubik's Cube? Rubik's Cube. One thing that rocked the 1980s was the Rubik's Cube.
There's never been a puzzle quite like Rubik's Cube, and America may never be the same. The Medical Journal has written about a unique phenomenon.
It was a cool cube puzzle with different colored squares on each side. The challenge? You had to twist and turn it until each side had one color. Sounds easy, but not so much. It was super tricky, and people worldwide got hooked trying to solve it. The best part was there wasn't just one way to crack it. Everyone had their tricks and methods. Some folks could solve it in seconds, while others spent hours trying to figure it out. It wasn't just a game, it was a craze. People carried them everywhere, trying to solve them on the bus, at school, or during lunch breaks.
Sure, Sir Isaac Newton unraveled the mysteries of gravity, but could he have unraveled the mysteries of Rubik's Cube?
The Rubik's Cube wasn't just a toy, but a symbol of the 80s. Bringing together
and play games like Duck Hunt. Will you be the one to experience the Nintendo entertainment?
It was the ultimate gaming console that brought the magic of video games right into your living room. One of its most famous games was Super Mario Bros., where you played as a plumber named Mario, jumping and stomping on mushrooms and turtles to rescue a princess. It was a blast.
See the latest Nintendo newsletter? Whoa, nice graphics. I'd like to get my hands on that game. You mean you haven't played it yet? We can play it on my Nintendo Entertainment System.
The NES didn't just have Mario, it had all sorts of games, from adventure to puzzle to racing. Plus, it came with this excellent rectangular controller with buttons, making gaming feel like an adventure. And let's...
Hey, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Expansion Pack. I'm your host, Dan F. Man. It's good to be in here again. Oh, music banging, boy. Let me fix the scene back here. Make sure y'all can see what y'all supposed to see. Welcome to another episode of Expansion Pack. I'm your host, Dan F. Man, here on Tech Tuesdays. You know what I'm saying? We talking about establishing. Hold on, the beat still sound kind of loud. Talking about establishing a future today. Since it's Tech Tuesday, we gonna, it's gonna be a tech spin on it. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't gonna be like metaphorical, trying to give you a whole bunch of guru messages. But just kind of show you where it's going. So, with that being said, let me get y'all some motivation. Get y'all right. What's up, Mikey B? All right, let's go. Motivation. What do we do on Tuesdays? For the day. I think we just do it for the day. Motivation for the day. Let's get it popping.
A few years ago, the bishops were dismayed by a study that came out that showed that a critically low percentage of Catholics, about...
You and I have the privilege of getting up every morning and spending time with the Lord. None of us know what tomorrow... You and I have the privilege of getting up every morning.
Hey, what's good, Stacy?
And spending time.
I hope you're doing all right. Let me put the screen on for y'all. I'm sorry. There you go.
And so, how do we want to start tomorrow? How do we want to be sure?
Good to see you, Stacy.
We want to be able to live peacefully, confidently, boldly, productively, fruitfully.
Get y'all some motivation real quick.
By starting off the day with the one who will give us guidance and direction, enable us in every single way. But what does he want first? He wants you. Just you alone. No iPhones. No telephones at all. No iPads. And no computers.
Yes.
And know this and know that, know the other, all the things that jam and crowd us. He just wants you. And let me just say this to you. Don't you think God deserves your undistracted attention? And when I look at all the benefits of just solitude, just you and God, number one, it'll make your busy days much more fruitful. Busy, active days, much more fruitful. Why? As you begin the day with him, and you're listening to him, and God is guiding you and leading you because you opened your heart and mind to him, they're going to be more productive. Secondly, he repairs the damage. That is, let's say you've had one of those days and you come home and you think, I can't handle any more of this, and what happens? Time of solitude drains all of that out. And this idea of I can't, and he won't, they will, no. Just give him time. It's like sometimes he squeezes it out of us. It's like sometimes he pulls the drain and it just pours out. And what happens is we're free and we're liberated. And that's the benefit of just being alone with him. Listen, God's not uptight. There's not anything about us he can't fix.
Yes, sir. And
he will fix it if we give him time. So it just refuels us emotionally. Listen to me carefully. He'll meet you anywhere you willing to meet him.
Yes, sir.
A third thing is that solitude equips us to face tough days.
Yeah.
All of us are going to have them. All of us are going to have trials. All of us are going to have heartaches and burdens and things we have to deal with. And solitude, what it does, it equips us to face them confidently and assuredly, without getting all nervous and upset and frantic and thinking, God, what's going to happen? It'll make a difference in your health, make a difference in your relationships to other people. You're going to have a sense of peace and joy and confidence in your heart that no matter what comes your way, when you get along with him, he stills your heart, quietens your spirit, and makes you an overcomer no matter what you're facing in life. There isn't anything else that can give me all of that but time alone with him. And I would simply ask you this. Do you want God's best? This is the avenue. Do you want life's best? This is the avenue. Do you want peace in the midst of storms and quietness and joy when turmoil is all around you? This is the answer.
So every day we should start and kind of look over the day and say, Lord God, I'm going to be here today and here today and here today. And I pray for your strength to be the person of God I should be. Help me to bring the influence of Jesus into this situation. Or I'm headed to the doctor today. Lord, I don't know what the news is going to be, but I know you're sufficient, and I pray for strength. You pray proactively. Don't pray after it happens. Pray before it happens. Amen?
Really, it's important every morning. You should start the day off in peace, not stressed, hurried, rushing around. Look at the sunrise. Listen to the birds singing. Breathe in God's goodness. Thank Him for His blessings in your life. Hebrews talks about entering into the rest of God. That means you have a problem, but you're not losing sleep over it.
Exactly.
You know God
Yes.
is still in control.
Yes,
This
Lord.
is one of the main ways we show God we're trusting Him, by staying in peace. Not up when your circumstances are up, down when they're down. You're stable, you're consistent, you're in the rest of God. Jesus put it this way: don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will have enough worries of its own. God has given you grace for today. You don't have grace for tomorrow. Don't try to figure out the next 5 years, play out all the what ifs. The what ifs will depress you. The truth is, if a what if does come to pass, God will give you the grace to handle it. What if the report's not good? What if my loved one doesn't make it? What if I do get laid off, Joel? Then the peace that passes understanding will be right there waiting for you.
Right.
God promises He will arm you with strength for every battle. We may not know what the future holds, but we do know who holds the future. Now,
Yes, Lord.
don't miss today worried about tomorrow. Today is a gift. We can never get this day back. And sure, we should plan, we should use common sense, but at some point, you have to turn it over to God and say, God, you know what's best for me. You said you'd give me grace for every season. Just like you clothe the lily of the fields, just like you feed the birds of the air, I know you will take care of me.
Yes.
It's very freeing when you learn to turn things over to God.
Where do your thoughts live? Where are you living? I'll tell you, there's only three possibilities. You're either living in the past, you're living in the future, or you're living in the present. Jesus said, therefore, do not worry about tomorrow. For tomorrow will worry about its own things. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. Think about it. The past exists only as mere memory. The future exists only in the imagination. Only the present exists in true reality. So why do we ruin the only moment of existence we have by pulling trouble from
non-existent places
like the past and the future?
Okay.
Here's what happens. When you borrow trouble from the future, now you've got double trouble. If you live in the past and you live in the future, you're allowing two thieves to rob your life. But if you live in the present, the Bible says that God is sufficient for every day. There's a wonderful verse in Deuteronomy 33:25.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
As your days, so shall your strength be. I love that verse. That means, Lord, I don't know what's going to happen on Wednesday or Thursday. I got this and that and all that. But all I know is this. For this day, I got the strength you want me to have. As my days, so shall my strength be. I live on that. I mean, I've got so much stuff going on in my life right now. If I wanted to sit back and worry, I could be a professional worrier. But I chose not to do that. Here's what I've learned. I don't know how God's going to deal with tomorrow, but I know He's sufficient for today. And I'm going to rest in the promise that He's always kept. He's never, ever outpromised Himself.
Let's go, y'all. Now, I want to say this as a disclaimer. Appreciate you for sticking around, Mikey B. I want to say this as a disclaimer. Now, that motivation right there was not a bunch of ET just on you, or, you know, a bunch of quotes or anything. But that was exactly what we needed right now. He said, if you live in the future and you live in the past, for those who didn't catch it on Instagram, if you live in the future and you live in the past, you pulling from two things that's non-existent, and now you got double trouble. You know, you living between two thieves, and they robbing you. Give me that. Give me that. Let me get that. Let me hold that. All right, so now let's get to the message of today. We establishing the future now. Let's just type these words in. I like how, the way that's being said. So, type that in real quick and see what we get. Oh, it's Tech Tuesday, so prepare to be blue.
An AI that builds other AIs in real time with zero coding, zero scripting, and full autonomy is no longer an idea. It's live. Emergence AI, founded by former IBM researchers, has launched a system that generates custom agents on the spot using just a text prompt. In this video, we're breaking down how this new tech works, what recursive intelligence actually means, and why it could shift how automation works across enterprise systems. Let's dive in.
Y'all seen that thing?
How this AI actually builds other agents.
Y'all seen that thing jump on that table? Oh my jeez.
At the core of Emergence AI's system is the orchestrator, a logic engine that evaluates incoming
I love how you put that. Don't get robbed. Right, exactly.
tasks, determines what resources are available, and builds what's missing. It operates by first consulting an internal registry of existing agents. If the task can't be completed with what's already built, it creates new agents on the fly. These agents are generated using state-of-the-art large language models. According to VentureBeat, Emergence's platform supports models including OpenAI's GPT-4, O and GPT-4.5, Anthropic's Claude 3.7 Sonnet, and Meta's Llama 3.3. Depending on the task and configuration, the orchestrator selects the most appropriate model to generate and refine agent behavior. But this isn't just about generating code. Once an agent is built, it's capable of executing actions, verifying outcomes, and improving through repetition. A process
so it just teaches itself.
Calls self-play. The orchestrator doesn't stop once the agents are generated. It continues to monitor performance and learns from task outcomes. What separates this system from other agent frameworks is its complete lack of required manual intervention. No pipelines need to be set up. No agent libraries need to be dragged in. You just describe the goal. The rest is handled by the system itself, using recursive loops to continuously reassess and adapt. In practice, this means the AI is not only building tools, it's deciding what tools need to exist in the first place. Orchestrator architecture and recursive thinking.
Trek Senior, appreciate you for the follow out there.
Comes from its architecture. The orchestrator acts like a manager that's constantly asking two questions.
Appreciate you for dropping that follow. Stick around, man. Take a little peek at the show.
When it encounters a task it can't solve, it generates a new goal. The creation of an agent that can. This ability to reflect, plan, and create sub-roles autonomously is what Emergence defines as recursive thinking. Agents aren't created randomly. They're task-specific, assigned with memory, and given the ability to plan and verify their own output. Once created, they're stored in the internal registry so they can be reused for future tasks. During the demo, the company displayed a timeline of agent creation in real time. Each dot represented an agent, color-coded by function.
That's right.
From categorization to data extraction to reporting.
That's right.
As tasks progressed, the orchestrator became more efficient, creating fewer agents and relying more on existing ones. This addresses one of the common problems in multi-agent systems: bloat. If a platform creates too many agents for every new task, it becomes inefficient. But Emergence AI's orchestrator was designed
so
to
we ain't gonna
consolidate
drag this video out to 11 minutes. Y'all can see what they doing with that. So imagine you could learn something, right? And then you have your computer that can learn things. See, we think about computers as we input the data into them, we control them, we type them on them, you know, all of that stuff. But then when you think about the computer, let's just say creating output, like creating stuff for you, I think about it in terms of our edited videos, music that we recorded, stuff like that. I don't think about it in it's gonna build me another computer. This computer sitting right here is not gonna build me another computer. You see what I'm saying? Let's see some more of this stuff. I don't think we ever watched this video, so I'm gonna watch
Thinking
it.
about starting your own business in 2025? Bluehost makes it easy to turn your vision into reality. Head over to Bluehost.
Since the turn of the century, technology has rapidly improved. Our reality is now filled with things that were mere dreams in the past few decades. Seeing how the past has unfolded, I was curious about what the next 30 years would look like. So I did a little digging into what life might look like in 2050 for us. Let's take a look. Nanotechnology. First, let's take a look at nanotechnology. Over the years, scientists have made exciting developments and discovered numerous innovative applications for nanotechnology. As it stands, nanotechnology has the potential to change life as we know it. Experts in the field believe that nanobots will, in the future, be fitted into our brains to connect us to the virtual world more readily and faster. With the use of brain-computer interface technology, the mind and computer will be one, making humans very powerful beings with access to endless information and solutions to problems that the mind wouldn't be able to solve.
No, I haven't had a chance to look at my phone yet.
That stage, there may be no need for gadgets like phones and calculators. Well, this is very exciting for the student
and a few people you haven't.
Looks like math
Most
will not be a
notably,
universal
there will be
challenge much
press
longer.
looking
3D
for
print
quotes.
technology.
They can hit me up on
The
text
next
too?
tech advancement that we can expect in the future
And you
is
want
the
to
rise
handle
of
this
3D
like you
print
would
technology.
any regular
3D
press
print
conference.
technology is
You want no
already
comment?
advanced,
No
but we
comment.
can expect
You
it
want
to
to
be
answer?
even more
Go
advanced
ahead
in
and answer.
2050. Right
Just
now, we
remember,
have 3D printed
everything
tools
you
and
say
homes. In
is
the
on the
future,
record.
we will be able to
Has
print
impact.
more tools and perhaps even
Most
some modes
importantly,
of
on team
transportation if
chemistry
bigger
and
machines
your
are
public
built. This
perception.
technology will also become more accessible to everyone who may want a 3D printer, making the possibilities of what can be printed infinite. If the current trend of open source 3D printable
That just
files
gave me,
continues,
hey, what's
it will
good,
not be
NY
long before
Boog?
everyone prints their
Appreciate
own
you for
large
stopping
objects
through,
like
bro.
furniture and weapons. Well, here's an idea. How about developing an affordable 3D printer for food? That could be the end of world hunger.
So wait, skirt. Let me pause right there. Yeah, appreciate the follow, NY. So check it out. This is crazy. Before we go any further, for those who didn't know, this is Tech Tuesday, and we just establishing a future. And in our future, things are looking like this.
Global warming, medical. Now we go from the extinction of phones to the eradication of death. Well, by 2050, the finality of death may be a thing of the past. With the brain connected to a computer through BCI technology, the information stored in our brains can be transferred into a hard disk like computer files. That means the data, including memories, can be retrieved and uploaded into another being, maybe a more advanced humanoid robot. This way, the best minds in every field will be preserved and able to continue working on innovations. Another improvement to consider in the medical field is that serious diseases like cancer will be cured. The only downside to this development is that every new technology is very expensive when it first comes out, so the rest of us may not have access to this literally life-saving technology for a while. Transportation. Something that we may have access to is transportation. In 2050, transportation will have immensely changed, with experimentation focused on self-driving cars already underway from car manufacturers such as Tesla. It is not much of a stretch to believe that by 2050, the technology for fully automated vehicles will exist. Some notable advantages of such automated vehicles include a drastic reduction in traffic-related deaths, because the vehicles will collaborate with vehicles, include a drastic
Look at that. Look at that.
Reduction in traffic-related deaths because the vehicles will collaborate with traffic control systems. Another advantage is the change in lifestyle that self-driving vehicles will bring.
Glad y'all
With
do.
no need to man a vehicle, people will be free to choose whether to relax or be more productive as they travel. A lot of free time, considering the amount of time spent in traffic.
Well, I'll be sitting, if it don't spin out of control like in the parking lot, I'll be sitting on that mug like, let me read my books, let me sleep, I'm about to take a nap. Hey, y'all drive me down to Texas, I'm gonna be asleep. All right, in the back. You don't swerve.
Development is the Hyperloop One project by Elon, which aims to move the bulk of public transportation underground. With the use of electromagnetic levitation at historic speeds of 310 kilometers per hour, this train presents the opportunity for a faster, cheaper, and cleaner mode of transportation. And if more people opt for it, then there will be even fewer traffic-related incidents. Fuel. Still on
You and that
transportation,
coffee.
the fuel used in all future transportation modes will be renewable energy. Currently, the world is plagued by global warming and the threat of depleting natural resources, so we do need to be looking at adapting to a more sustainable source of energy. Now, Hyperloop
Makes
One
sense.
is exploring electromagnetic levitation,
Emotions
and the
run
automobile
high
industry
when a
has
game is
also
just
been looking
ended,
for ways to
okay?
reduce harmful vehicle
All
emissions.
I'm asking
These are all
is that
efforts
you
aimed
take
at
a
achieving the
moment to
goal of
think
stopping the use
before
of
you
carbon-emitting
respond.
fuels. Besides
Words
those,
can get
research
twisted
is being
easily
done
in the
on the
league,
ocean's wind,
and
solar,
what might
and
seem like a
thermal
harmless
energy.
bit of
One
bragging
company in
could be
particular,
taken as a
Blue
slight.
Rise, a specialist developer
Teammate,
of ocean thermal energy
opponent,
conversion, is
coach,
working on a project that could
you name it.
completely phase out the use
Under a
of fossil
microscope
fuels.
now.
Hopefully, Blue Rise
right.
and their colleagues will be
All part of the
successful soon
business.
enough to
Understood.
alleviate some of the environmental problems we face. Space
If you have any
exploration.
other concerns, press
Now,
or PR
if there
related,
is one thing that
you
has
know
been
where to find
mentioned
me.
as a mitigating option for our current environmental challenges, it's space exploration and colonization. Companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin are set on revolutionizing space technology, with goals of spatial exploration and ultimately enabling people to live on other planets in colonies. With all the strides already made, by 2050, space tourism will also be a reality for those who can afford it. The possibilities for holiday destinations will expand to include places like Mars and the Moon. Unfortunately, a trip to orbit will be significantly expensive, making it exclusive for the extremely wealthy, at least at first. Artificial intelligence. Something that may be available for everyone is artificial intelligence. Already more advanced than most of the innovations mentioned here, the development of artificial intelligence will only get better through the years. Experts in the field believe that AI will surpass the processing power of living brains. That wouldn't be scary if it didn't open the door to the robopocalypse. Luckily, scientists still have to figure out how to impart all the important human values into an AI before it can become a part of our everyday life. But the rise of AI will, of course, change the face of the workforce. Not only that, but the job market will also face radical change. And with the way things are going, about half of the world's current jobs will be extinct, taken over by AI machines and robots. In 2050, the world will be more interconnected and even more driven by data than it is now. Some of us will definitely need to consider a career change. Education. As the job market changes, education will also see some significant changes. Already there has been an increase in digital learning, especially during the pandemic. By 2050, completely digital schools will be commonplace. Even if we have physically attended schools, they will have no need for books, using tablets and laptops instead. For higher education, experts believe that more than 70% of the student population will be enrolled in online degrees, making education more globalized. A rather welcome step in the right direction if we are to make good education accessible to all, I believe. Online degrees may even be taught by AI-powered robots. At that time, I imagine the robots will be able to prepare course material, give lectures, and mark assignments. Sadly, you may be unable to twist your lecturer's arm, so they give you a deadline extension. The metaverse.
Yeah.
Now we move on to the metaverse. Since Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced it, virtual reality and AI have been assimilated into our everyday life through the social media giant. For those who may be a bit confused about the metaverse, you're not alone, and you've come to the right place. The metaverse is a virtual reality computer-generated environment in which you can interact with other users through AI-enabled software. So it's about simulation, with avatars representing users. As metaverse functions get more developed, by 2050 it will be able to offer a full virtual experience that includes shopping to travel right from the comfort of your own home. People will have the option to share their virtual experiences with the world. Imagine taking a trip to your favorite holiday destination with your family, only you're not physically there. That's what the metaverse will offer. It seems to me like the more we get connected, the more we stay apart. Money. Next is money. Even though we will still use money, one thing that has been used less and less over the years is cash. Keeping up with that trend, cash will most likely no longer be used in 2050. All transactions will be done virtually, and new modes of financial transactions will emerge because of AI and decentralized finance. As the world slowly starts to adopt those technologies, we may not even have to do our own grocery shopping anymore, making traditional paper and plastic money even less useful. Like Tesla, which orders its own car parts as needed, our automated pantries and refrigerators may order our groceries. No more getting the wrong milk, or even running out of milk. Real estate. Speaking of the automation of home appliances, the homes in 2050 will also be completely automated smart homes. Although smart homes already exist, the developments that will be available in the next few decades will be a great improvement to what we have now. Smart homes in 2050 will have full AI activation functions, allowing the home to sense our moods and requirements without giving it a single
what's good,
command.
Chris?
Additionally, interactive hologram
Hey,
televisions will
what's
exist,
good, man? If you
meaning
want
that
to
you can
follow
verbally
along,
call up
go
your
to
hologram TV and it will
Twitch,
appear right
the
in
pin
front
chat.
of you. The
Look at
best
the pin
part,
chat.
you will never have to look
Go
for
over
the
to the
remote.
Twitch DGTA, and you can follow along with the content. It's just gonna be me sitting here, and once the video is over, well, we watching this almost over now. I'm gonna talk, but if you want to be able to see the video, just go ahead, hop on my DGTA TV Twitch. This pin right there, and you can follow along with the video.
Again, because you can control the TV with your mind using
Appreciate you for stopping
nanotechnology,
through, bro.
as discussed at the beginning of the video. So with that, we have come full circle in this video.
So, I don't know about y'all, but a lot of this tech, I can see it happening only because I went to school and I studied a lot of it, a lot of the possibilities, let's just say. And I'm not talking about like just like high school. I'm talking about like further at my education and studied the possibilities, let's just say. I didn't work specifically in the field of these technologies, but I definitely studied the theories behind them, and seeing it actually put into motion right now, I can tell you a lot of this stuff that's coming. So I mean, it really doesn't matter what is going to be done 50, 25 years from now in the sense of technology, but what does matter is the growth of people over the course of the next 25 years with technology. You can stay stagnant. You can be like, hey, you know, I remember it was like this and I don't want it to change. Or you can be like, hey, I like what it's changing into and change with it. It's all up to you. It's dependent upon you. So, all right. Now, I want to type. We got 400 years and 3 minutes. Get out of here. Let's see. I don't want to play this. Never mind. We seen that. Let's see about different thoughts of the future. Let me give y'all something. Paradigm shift. Let's see what y'all think about this. If you want small changes in your life, work on your attitude. But if you want big and primary changes, work on your paradigm. Stephen Covey.
There was once a man stuck in an endless loop of mediocrity. Every morning, he woke up, followed the same routine, and ended the day exhausted, yet unfulfilled. Bills piled up, opportunities slipped through his fingers, and a quiet voice inside whispered, "This isn't the life you were meant to live." But he dismissed it, because life, as he believed, had fixed rules, and he was simply playing his part. Then something changed. A mentor introduced him to an idea so powerful that it shattered every limitation he had unknowingly placed on himself. Your life isn't controlled by your circumstances, it's controlled by your paradigm. That one sentence made him pause. The word was unfamiliar, yet it felt important. As he dived deeper, he realized that paradigms were nothing more than deeply embedded mental programs, patterns inherited from parents, schools, society, and past experiences. And those programs dictated his results.
Right.
The moment he saw the pattern, he understood something life-changing. If paradigms were programmed into him, they could also be rewritten. He wasn't bound to repeat the same cycle forever. With this realization, he committed to a new path, one where he rewired his beliefs, reprogrammed his subconscious, and watched his entire life transform. He went from financial struggle to abundance, from self-doubt to unshakable
Just
confidence.
call MPs first.
And it all started with one decision: to shift his paradigm. A paradigm is more than just a belief system. It's a mental operating system that determines every thought, action, and outcome. From the way you perceive money, relationships, and success to the habits that shape your daily life, paradigms act as invisible forces steering the course of your reality. These programs run so deeply that most people never question them. They wake up every day, follow the same behaviors, and wonder why nothing changes. But change is impossible until the program itself is altered. Imagine someone who grew up in a household where money was always scarce. The subconscious mind absorbs this scarcity, associating wealth with struggle. Even as an adult, no matter how much they learn about financial success, they unconsciously sabotage their efforts because the old paradigm still controls their behavior. The same applies to health, relationships, and personal growth. Albert Einstein once said, "We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them."
Exactly.
This is the essence of a paradigm shift. If you want to change your results, the transformation must begin at the source, your subconscious programming. Otherwise, no amount of willpower or knowledge will make a lasting difference. The subconscious is a powerful force. Unlike the conscious mind, which can accept or reject ideas, the subconscious has no filter. It absorbs everything, especially in early childhood, when the mind is wide open to suggestion. Every repeated experience, belief, and environment shapes the paradigm you operate from today. From birth, external influences begin shaping subconscious programming. Parents, teachers, media, and cultural norms all play a role in forming core beliefs. A child raised in an environment where money is scarce may absorb the idea that wealth is hard to obtain, leading to financial struggles later in life. Similarly, someone repeatedly told they lack talent may internalize that belief, unconsciously limiting their own potential. These patterns run silently in the background, influencing decisions, emotions, and behaviors without conscious awareness. Many people live their entire lives bound by beliefs they never chose, simply accepting them as truth. James Allen, in As a Man Thinketh, writes, "A man is literally what he thinks, his character being the complete sum of all his thoughts." This principle explains why breaking free from limiting paradigms requires conscious effort. Without intervention, the subconscious will continue running outdated scripts, reinforcing old patterns. However, by deliberately exposing the mind to new, empowering ideas, a person can begin rewriting these mental programs. Awareness is the first step. Once you recognize that your subconscious beliefs are shaping your reality, you gain the power to change them.
Come
Near
on,
Phoenix
Marshals.
Energy, a family-owned
Come
oil
on,
company
Marshals.
focused on unleashing American oil from North Dakota and Montana.
Before transformation can happen, awareness is key. To shift a paradigm, first, you must recognize it. Pay attention to patterns in your life. Are you constantly struggling with money, no matter how much you earn? Do you sabotage relationships just as they start to flourish? Does success seem to slip away the moment you're close to achieving it? These patterns are not coincidences. They are programmed behaviors running on autopilot. An effective way to expose a paradigm is to examine your emotional reactions. The things that frustrate, anger, or discourage you the most often reveal deep-seated subconscious beliefs. Someone who gets triggered by wealth might hold an unconscious belief that money is evil. A person who fears rejection may carry a paradigm that says they are unworthy of love. These internal scripts run silently, but influence every decision and action. American philosopher William James once stated, "A great many people think they are thinking when they are merely rearranging their prejudices." The key to change isn't just gathering new information, it's about questioning and rewriting the deeply ingrained paradigms shaping your reality. Once you've identified limiting paradigms, the next step is replacing them with new, empowering beliefs. This process requires discipline and repetition. Paradigms don't change overnight. They are rewritten through consistent mental conditioning. Visualization is a powerful tool. When vividly imagining a new reality, the subconscious cannot distinguish between imagination and reality. Repeated exposure to these mental images helps dissolve old paradigms and install new ones. The key is emotional involvement. High performers mentally rehearse success before it happens, strengthening neural pathways. Those shifting paradigms must embody the emotions of their desired reality, feeling wealthy, confident, or healthy before external proof appears. Affirmations work similarly, gradually replacing outdated mental programs.
Coffee is nice.
However, for them to be effective, they must be believable to the subconscious. Instead of extreme statements, progressive affirmations like, I am becoming more confident every day, make acceptance easier. Behavior also reinforces new paradigms. Acting as if success is already present accelerates its adoption. Just like an actor embodies a role, transformation happens when repeated actions align with the new identity. Neuroscientist Joe Dispenza states, to change is to think greater than how you feel. The cycle of repetitive thoughts and emotions must be broken by making new choices. Environment also plays a key role. Being around people who embody the paradigm you seek accelerates the shift. If your surroundings reinforce scarcity or fear, reprogramming becomes harder. Immersion in books, conversations, and experiences that reflect your new paradigm strengthens it. Over time, repetition and reinforcement make the shift permanent, causing external reality to mirror internal transformation. Shifting a paradigm isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing process of alignment. The moment a new paradigm takes hold, reality begins to reflect it. Financial freedom, fulfilling relationships, and personal success emerge naturally, not because circumstances changed first, but because the mindset changed. Challenges will arise. The old paradigm will attempt to pull you back, whispering doubts and fears. But the difference now is awareness. Once you understand how paradigms work, you can refuse to return to outdated patterns. Growth is uncomfortable, but so is staying stuck. The choice is always yours. Legendary speaker Earl Nightingale put it best. We become what we think about. Every day, a choice must be made. Feed the old paradigm or reinforce the new one. The results will follow accordingly. Now, with this knowledge in hand, the question remains, will you remain bound by old programming, or will you take control and rewrite the script of your life? The power is, and always has been, within you.
Let's get another one.
This is what I do if I have to lose 20 pounds in 30 days.
Have you seen this guy? You know, the one that keeps telling...
Shut up!
Visual metaphor paradigm shift there. Hey, y'all, check this out.
To see the world as a collection of facts represented by these poems. We may observe these facts and add these observations to those we have already made. So it appears that progress is a process of addition.
Okay. That's what it seemed like, right?
However, philosopher Thomas Kuhn argued that observations do not exist in the present. Instead, they are contained within a theory.
I hope y'all listening. It look low budget, but
A theory is a story which explains the meaning or significance of the observations. The dominant theory in a discipline at any given time is called a paradigm. And the observations are placed within that paradigm.
okay. Y'all pay attention.
Placed within that paradigm.
Pay attention. Just pay attention.
When observations are made that do not fit into the paradigm.
Hey, right here, I see him.
Crisis is reached.
Hey, yo.
When too many
Right. And you observe it more
fit
and more.
into the paradigm. crisis is reached. Too many observations have not been
Now you can't think nothing new, and it's like the stuff that's coming in is then you create another theory.
A new theory is then proposed. If this new theory contains the observations better than the old theory, then there is a paradigm shift.
To that paradigm. Destroyed. You can't break that.
Check it.
And replaced by the new theory. To Thomas Kuhn, scientific progress is as much about destruction, specifically the destruction of the old theory or paradigm, as it is about the addition of new observations. And even this new paradigm will only last until it suffers its own crisis.
Right. Until you fill it up with too many observations. Yo, this just broke it down to me. If it didn't break it down to you, maybe we can get another video in here on what it is. Yeah. Another 2 minutes.
Step into Wix Studio and handle every part of your work from one platform.
Alright, let's go.
Map out.
What's a paradigm? What's a paradigm shift? Okay. Question of the week. What is a paradigm and what is a paradigm shift?
Hosting my show.
So a paradigm is simply the accepted knowledge about something. It's just the perspective we take in discussing something.
I sold
The
'cause I'm
idea
hosting my
that
show.
the universe was started at the Big Bang. That is our current paradigm for when the universe started. Now, if we find out some new knowledge about that, we do some new research, we find out new great facts, we may have a paradigm shift.
Right.
Where we change our accepted knowledge into something new. My favorite example of this is Pluto, the planet Pluto. It used to be a planet. That was the paradigm. Pluto's the planet. It's the last one in the line, right? Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. But then, about 20 years ago, I think, at this point, they voted Pluto out. What's up with that? There was a paradigm shift. Pluto is no longer a planet. Now, that has to do with that it's like this planetary body, and they found like dozens of others, and they realized they would have to name all these others, and it would get really complicated, and it's not really honest to what a planet truly is. So that's a really great example of how this works, right? Although, how many Pluto fans are there out there? I am one. Bring Pluto back. But
Say bring Pluto back.
If we're following the current ideas on things, it just doesn't make sense. So, Pluto was a planet. That's the old paradigm. Paradigm shift. New paradigm. Pluto's not a planet.
Okay.
Depressing, but fair.
Hold on. Let me see this.
This week in archaeology, the Ark of the Covenant has been found. Huh?
I'm about to watch this. Hey, I gotta see this. There's no way.
We've known about this since 1988.
There's no way.
Yeah. And you're like, can you tell
What?
I'm like,
Yes.
The CIA found the Ark of the Covenant in 1988, and the documents have been declassified since 2000. Man, it's time for us to look at some of these declassified documents. Here's the deal. In the late 80s, waning days of the Reagan administration, the CIA ran Project Sunstream, where they got a bunch of psychics together to try and use their psychic abilities to have an edge on our enemies.
and they would
Hold
do
on,
these
y'all.
tests. And
Tell me next time. Tell me if y'all hear like the PlayStation audio in the back or any audio or the sound is off. I be hating when I do that. Sorry about that if it's been playing in the background.
test that a person that is only referred to as Viewer 30 to have an edge on our
Let me
enemies.
go back for a second.
The Reagan administration, the CIA ran Project Sunstreak, where they got a bunch of psychics together to try and use their psychic abilities to have an edge on our enemies. And they would do these tests, and one test that a person that is only referred to as Viewer 32, this he or she person was asked to target on the Ark of the Covenant, and it worked. They asked, where is the Ark of the Covenant? Target on this. And they were like, I see it in the Middle East. Yes, go on. It's in a dark place, like a cave. It's definitely wet there. Yes, I hear people speaking Arabic. I see mosques. I see other people around this ark. Can we open the ark? No. It's protected by mystical forces. And as Viewer 32 was talking, Viewer 32 drew some stuff down to these little stick figure drawings of some ominous people. You can look these up online. They really kick ass. Very X-Filesy. And in fact, I don't even know if I should tell you this. Viewer 32 drew a little circular amulet, which looked exactly like the amulet in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Okay.
Now, the coincidence there is
So what did
shocking.
they do with it
I
afterwards?
will say that this interview took place in 1988, 7 years after Raiders of the Lost Ark came out. So there is that, but that doesn't matter. What I can tell you, though, underneath it all, of this fascinating discovery, is Viewer 32 has definitely seen Raiders of the Lost Ark. And I can tell you one more thing, friends. If you're looking for government waste, Project Sunstreak.
My man's okay.
Watch this fridge
I got
test
all
for
of that.
fake-
All right, y'all. So look, we're gonna bring it home now today. That was actually pretty interesting. So, as we do here on Expansion Pack, we find our roots so we can grow. Now, today we was just looking at, let me see, let me make sure I got the title exactly accurate. Today we was just looking at establishing a future. So, in the line of tech, in the way that the world is going, stuff is getting better. Well, what is the best? Does the best look like we never have to drive ourselves nowhere? Does the best look like if you needed to call somebody, all you needed to do was think about it and it would, and you could do it? Does the best look like our house is 3D printed? I don't know. Also, what do you think life looks like now? All you doing is filling up your little paradigm until it's too full. You're going to throw it out, drop that cinder block on it, like my man's in the video, and get a new one. So, with all of that being said, I think I still got another 10 minutes on this thing right here. So we're going to get some wisdom and some quotes about paradigms, and we're going to call it a day. Hold on, I got to go back in this thing. All right, paradigm shift quotes. Let's go. Let's rock it, nigga. Let's rock it. I don't need nothing short. This looks like it's good enough.
The greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. Act as if what you do makes a difference. It does. Believe that life is worth living, and your belief will help create the fact. The art of being wise is the art of knowing what to overlook. The deepest principle in human nature is the craving to be. The greatest discovery of my generation is that human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of mind. To change one's life, start immediately, do it flamboyantly. No exceptions. The world is all the richer for having a devil in it. So long as we keep our foot upon his neck, we are like islands in the sea, separate on the surface, but connected in the deep. The first lives by altering it, do it flamboyantly. No exceptions. The world is all the richer for having a devil in it. So long as we keep our foot upon his neck, we are like islands in the sea, separate on the surface, but connected in the deep. The first act of freedom is to recognize the necessity of morality. The art of being happy lies in the power of extracting happiness from common things. The best use of life is to spend it for something that outlasts it. The best use of life is to spend it for something that outlasts it. Man can alter his life by altering his thinking. The essence of genius is to know what to overlook. The world we see that seems so insane is the result of a belief system that is not working. The stream of thought flows on, but most of its segments fall into the bottomless abyss of oblivion. A great many people think they are thinking when they are merely rearranging their prejudices. There is no worse lie than a truth, misunderstood by those who hear it. The greatest use of life is to spend it on something that will outlast it. Wisdom is learning what to overlook. Seek out that particular mental attitude which makes you feel most deeply and vitally alive, along with which comes the inner voice which says, "This is the real me." And when you have found that attitude, follow it.
Yes, sir. Hold on, let's get one more real quick. We'll dip out on this.
Look, you're not actually going to get anything done by watching another YouTube video. In fact, you're literally only
Neville Goddard quote. In this video, I'm going to read 25 Neville Goddard quotes that will cause a paradigm shift in your thinking. Listening to these quotes is a great way to begin reprogramming your mind to believe in the power of your imagination and its ability to completely transform your life. Do not bow down before the dictate of facts and accept life on the basis of the world without. Assert the supremacy of your imaginal acts over facts and put all things in subjection to them. Hold fast to your ideal in your imagination. Nothing can take it from you but your failure to persist in imagining the ideal realized. Imagine only such states that are of value or promise well. Whenever one state grows so stable as to become your constant mood, your habitual attitude, then that habitual state defines your character and is a true transformation.
Yes, ma'am.
Commit yourself to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, in faith that this act of self-commission will become a reality. And it must become a reality because imagining creates reality. Through spiritual sensation, that is, through imaginal sight, sound, scent, taste, and touch, you can give to the image sensory vividness. If you do this, all things will conspire to aid your harvesting, and upon reflection you will see how subtle were the threads that led to your goal.
Right.
You could never have devised the means which your imaginal activity employed to fulfill itself.
Right.
Like the make-believe of a child who is remaking the world after its own heart, create your world out of pure dreams of fancy. Mentally enter into your dream. Mentally do what you would actually do were it physically true. You will discover that dreams are realized not by the rich, but by the imaginative. Nothing stands between you and the fulfillment of your dreams but facts, and facts are the creation of imagining. If you change your imagining, you will change the facts. Man, through the medium of a controlled waking dream, can predetermine his future. That imaginal activity of living in the wish fulfilled leads man across a bridge of incident to the fulfillment of the dream. If we live in the dream, thinking from it and not of it, then the creative power of imagining will answer our adventurous fancy, and the wish fulfilled will break in upon us and take us unawares. When man finally identifies himself with his imagination rather than his senses, he has at long last discovered the core of reality. Observe your imaginal activities, imagine better than the best you know, and create a better world for yourself and others. Imagining creates reality. What it makes, it can unmake. Our future is our imaginal activity in its creative march. Imagine better than the best you know. Man should daily relive the day as he wished he had lived it, revising the scenes to make them conform to his ideals. The mood of the wish fulfilled is the high tide which lifts us easily off the bar of the senses where we usually lie stranded.
All right, guys.
If we are aware of the mood and know this secret of imagining, we may announce that all that our mood affirms will come to pass.
The mood of the wish fulfilled is the high tide which lifts us easily off of the bar of the senses, off the bar of the senses where we usually lie stranded. If we are aware of the mood and know this secret of imagining, we may announce that all our mood affirms will come to pass. All right, y'all, we out of here for the day. This has been another episode of Expansion Pack. I'm your host, Dan F. Man, here on DGTA TV. Tech Tuesdays, about to be up out of here. Stick around, for a little bit more of a previous episode, but really, we done here for the day, and I'll see y'all tomorrow on Find Your Way Wednesday. Make sure you follow DGTA TV, or DGTA_TV on Twitch, and then you can go on YouTube and type that same name in. Links everywhere. I'm going to be out of here in about 2 seconds. I'm Dan F. Man. Peace. This is DGTA TV.
Do that thing, you start to see yourself doing more of that thing. You start to visualize that achieving it isn't as difficult as you may have once thought. You start to see micro improvements in the micro steps helping you get closer to your actual goal. All of these things.
What about hard work versus resourcefulness? Or ambition versus loyalty? Would you prefer others to be more open-minded or more traditional? What about community versus self-interest or freedom versus loyalty? Knowing what ideas, virtues, or principles you value the most is crucial for not only your understanding more about who you are as a person, but also what you want from your relationships. Your core values are the ideas you want to uphold, and they give your life meaning and direction when you need to make a difficult decision or when stuck in times of strife. Number 3, how you respond to stress. Are you calm under pressure or panicky and anxious? Do you usually run away from conflict or face it head on? Knowing your go-to stress response is key to succeeding in difficult and demanding situations. Responding to stress in an unhealthy way, like denying all of your problems or procrastinating until the very last minute, holds you back from achieving your goals by trapping you in a dysfunctional pattern of behavior. When you're more aware of how you react in a stressful situation, you're better able to manage your anxiety, avoid the pitfalls of these unhealthy coping mechanisms, and stay resilient even amidst emotional distress. Number 4, your physical health. When you take care of your body, you make it easier for yourself to manage stress and fight against the symptoms of anxiety, depression, and fatigue. So it's important that you know what illnesses and medical conditions you may have and treat them as soon as possible to avoid further complications. For example, when left untreated, hyperthyroidism can actually lead to developing depression. So the more you know about your physical health, the better off you'll be mentally and emotionally. Number 5, your personality type. Are you an introvert or an extrovert? What's your MBTI type? Enneagram type? How do you rank in terms of the big 5 personality factors? Now, you might not even begin to know how to answer these questions, but taking a personality test is actually one of the easiest and most insightful ways you can get to know yourself better. Knowing your personality type can give you a deeper understanding of all the things that make you who you are and why you are the way that you are. It's a simple, fun, and interesting way to learn new things about yourself. Number 6, your strengths.
There we go.
The sooner you learn what you excel at, the sooner you can start honing these skills and realizing your full potential. Are you good at cooking or dancing? Do you have a nice singing voice or a talent for writing? Do you easily finish puzzles and riddles? Or are you more interested in debate and public speaking? Are you a people person, a natural born leader, a gifted athlete? The truth is, until you put yourself out there and give it a try, you'll never know. Number 7, your weaknesses. Just as it's important to know where your strengths lie, it's also important for you to be aware of your own faults, flaws, and limitations. Of course, even though we all know that nobody is perfect, it's not always easy to admit to yourself what your weaknesses are. But having some insight into the things you struggle with and why can give you a clearer understanding of all the ways you could be holding yourself back. Are you trying to force